Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for GRE. We have been solving GRE math problems out of this book here, Official Guide to the Revised GRE, the second edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 230. Please turn to it. Page number 230, and today is our lesson number 322. The problem that you see on page number 230 is the exact same problem that appeared in the first edition of the revised GRE. We have already solved every single problem from this book. If you're interested in watching the original solution, you will find it on day number 108. Just type in revised GRE math, day 108. It'll pop right up. Let's take a look at it. 2.7.2. 2.7.2 is what we're doing here, I believe. Yep, 2.7.2. We are told that we have a 12-ounce mixture is made up of oil and vinegar. So we have a 12-ounce mixture which we are told is made up of oil and vinegar. We are also told that the mixture is 40% vinegar. 40% mix. The concentration of vinegar is 40%. The question is, how much oil must we add to bring concentration of vinegar down to 25%. As it stands, we start out with a concentration of 40%. The question is, we would like to dilute that concentration. We would like to dilute the mixture, bring the concentration down from 40% to 25%. Well, how much oil do I need to add to the mixture to bring the concentration down? That's all it is. Here's the solution. The very first thing we need to figure out before we do any work at all is how much vinegar we have to begin with. How much vinegar is there in the mixture? Let's find out, shall we? The amount of vinegar present in the mixture, we are told, is 40% of 12, because we are told the initial concentration is 40%, and we are also told that we have a total of 12 ounce of mixture. So 40% of 12 ounce, whatever that is, that's the amount of vinegar we have. We know that 10% of 12 we know is 1.2. We just move the decimal place. 10% of 12 is 1.2. So the 40% is very straightforward. We multiply both sides of the equation by 4, and there we have it. Therefore, 40% of 12 must be 1.2 times 4. We know 12 fours are 48, so it's 4.8. So we have 4.8 ounces of vinegar to start out with, and that amount is not going to change because we're not doing anything to vinegar at all. The amount of vinegar is going to remain constant throughout the entire story. Now we're going to just simply add more oil to it until it gets diluted. That's all. So now the question is, how much oil do we add? So let's add X ounces of oil to the mixture. So we had 12 ounces to begin with. We're going to add X more ounces of sorry, we had our mixture was 12 ounce. Now by virtue of adding X ounces of oil into it, the total amount of mixture that we have now is 12 ounce that we started out with, plus the X ounce of oil that we are adding to it. So the total amount of mixture that we have now is 12 plus X ounces. So the new amount, new solution is 12 plus X ounces. And we want the concentration to be 25%. We want concentration to be 25%. In other words, this ratio of the amount of vinegar to the total amount of mixture, we want this ratio to be 25% or 1/4. The amount of vinegar we know is 4.8 ounce. That's not going to change. That's not going to change because we're not changing the amount of vinegar at all. So that's going to stay 4.8. The total amount of mixture we have now is, we had 12 ounces of mixture to start out with. By adding X more ounces of oil into it, the total amount of mixture we have now is 12 plus X. And we want this ratio, to be 1/4. 1/4 because this is 25%. This is 1/4 of something is 25%. That's it, we're done. You just have to cross multiply. We're going to cross multiply. So 1 times 12 plus X is simply 12 plus X. And here we're going to have 4 times 4.8. We're almost done. How much is 4 times 4.8? How the hell do I know? Let's find out, shall we? 4 times 4 we know is 16. 4 times 4 we know is 16. And 4 times 8 we know is 32. 4 times 8 is 32, but it is not, but there is a decimal there, 4.8. So it is, what we're doing here is not 4 times 8, but rather 4 times 0.8. So 4 times 8 is 32, therefore 4 times 0.8 should be 3.2. So we have a total of 19.2 ounces of solution. 12 plus X, 12 ounces that we started out with, and the X ounce of oil that we are adding to it. So to find out how much oil we are adding, we simply subtract 12 from both sides. So the X is going to be 19.2 that we have here, minus the 12. Voila. So it looks like we're going to have to add 7.2 ounces of oil to this mixture in order for us to bring down the concentration of vinegar from 25% to from 40% down to 25%, because we want to dilute it. That's all. Let's do one more, shall we? Let's do one more problem, the very next one. Just give me 1 second. The next one is on the same page, having to do with driving. Jeff and Dennis, 2.7.3, where Jeff and Dennis are out for a drive. Let's do that one, shall we? I obviously need the room. So 2.7.3. And that is something, if you're interested in watching the original solution that we did out of the first edition of the revised GRE, you will find that on day number 109. So we are told that we have Jeff. We are told that Jeff is driving at 51 miles per hour, and as a result he took 40 minutes to drive a certain amount of distance. He's going around a racing course, from what I understand. In the driving competition, Jeff and Dennis drove the same course at their respective speeds, so they are going around a racing course. And obviously the distance is going to be the same for both of them because it's obviously the same course. Dennis, we are told, drives at 54 miles per hour. And it's very important that we understand that it is the same course. Otherwise, this problem cannot be solved we have to have the distance to be the same in order for us to find out the time the other guy is going to take. The question simply is, how long will Dennis take to drive through the same course that Jeff took 40 minutes, driving at 51 miles per hour. Obviously, if he took 40 minutes at 51 miles an hour, the other guy is going faster, he's going 54 miles an hour. That in itself tells us that whatever the amount of time he's going to take has to be less than 40 minutes because he's going faster. Which means if you find an answer choice, had it been a multiple choice question, and if you had given an answer choice which was more than 40 minutes, then of course that's a silly answer. That makes no logical sense. Those answer choices are for those people who are solving this problem in a classical way, but they end up making some very predictable mistake, and the mistake is of such a nature that they get so bogged down in their work that they don't stop, they don't pause to ask themselves, does this answer make any sense? They will probably tell you that the guy is going to take 42 minutes or 45 minutes, and it never occurs to them that the second guy couldn't possibly take longer time than the first guy, because we are told that the second guy is going faster. He's going at 54 miles an hour. First guy was going only 51 miles an hour. So I don't know what the answer is, but whatever the hell it is, it's got to be less than 40 minutes. Another thing that I know is also that the answer is not going to be 37 minutes. That's a sucker answer. It's a sucker answer because the difference in two speed is 3 miles per hour. That's the difference in two speeds. So the Joes, the average person sitting there who's looking for a lazy answer, he will say, well, if the first guy took 40 minutes, the other guy should take 37 minutes because he's going 3 miles per hour faster. That's a lazy man's answer. That's the wrong answer. That's a sucker answer. So I don't know what the answer is, but whatever it is, it's going to be less than 40, and it is not going to be 37. So had it been a multiple choice, had we been presented with multiple choice answers here, those are the two things that will cross out right away. Any answer choice that is more than 40, and the answer, if one of the answer happens to be exactly 37, cross it out right away. Enough of the talk, let's do the problem. I don't know why I break into so much of a sermon here. Okay. So here's the solution. In order for us to be able to answer how long D took, how long Dennis took, we first have to know how long the course is. Pay no attention to the fact that I'm writing one sentence and yes, in the middle of the sentence I have a capital letter in there. Don't worry too much about it, okay? Don't be so pedantic. So let's find out how long the course is, shall we? We know that Jeff took 40 minutes. We are told that Jeff took 40 minutes at 51 miles per hour. So that's what we're going to use here. We know that Jeff took 40 minutes at 51 miles per hour. Since he's going at a speed of 50 miles, since he's going at a speed of 51 miles per hour, that obviously means that 51 miles would have taken him an hour. 51 miles would have taken him an hour, obviously, which is why it is called 51 miles per hour. So we're going to set it up as a ratio. Now we know that, I'm going to do it on the top here, or maybe we can continue here. Here's our ratio, miles over hours. So we know that he can go 51 miles in 1 hour. In 1 hour. question is, how long do you suppose he must have gone? How long do you suppose he must have, how long as in how long of a course, how much of a distance he must have driven? How much of a distance must he have driven if it took him 40 minutes? How long of a distance must he have driven if it took him 40 minutes? Which is 2/3 of an hour. It is 2/3 of an hour because a third of an hour we know is 20 minutes. A third of an hour is 20 minutes. Therefore, 2/3 of an hour must be 40 minutes. There you go. There's our ratio. We are done. All we have to do is cross multiply it. We are done. 1 times x equals 51 times 2/3. Cross multiply 1 times x equals 51 times 2/3. Let's do it on the top. So 1 times x is just x, and therefore our x, which is the length of the course, equals 51 times 2/3. Let's divide top and bottom by 3. How many 3's in a 5? 5 has... How many 3's in a 5? 5 has 1 3. The remaining 2 goes and joins the 1, becomes 21. How many 3's in a 21? 21 has 7 3's. 7 3's are 21. Voila, that takes care of this 3. Which means the course must be 34 miles long. The length of the course, length of the driving course is 34 miles. That's it. That was the first bit of information that we needed. Now we figured out how long the other guy is going to take, because now we know how long he drove, or how much of a distance he drove, that is. When I say how long he drove, I don't mean time. How much of a distance he drove. We know he must have, he did drive 34 miles because they're both driving the same course. So now we do the same thing. Oh, we never learned about pedantic. We'll do that in a second. Now we deal with, so now the question is, so now the question is, how long does it take to travel 34 miles at 54 miles per hour? That's the question. How long is it going to take the guy to travel 34 miles if he's going at the speed of 54 miles per hour? Again, we do the same thing what we did before. Set it up as a ratio. Miles and hour. Well, we know that he's going at 54 miles per hour. That means he goes 54 miles in 1 hour. 54 miles in 1 hour. Question is, how long does it take him to go 34 miles? That's all. So x cross multiply, and if you find out that x will equal 34 over 54, this implies that x equals 34 over 54. That's it. We are done. That's your answer. Obviously, we cannot leave it like this. So let's see what we can do here. First of all, let's divide top and bottom by 2. Let's divide the top and bottom by 2. How many 2's in a 3? 3 has 1 2. The remaining one goes and joins the 4, becomes 14. How many 2's in 14? 14 has 7 2's. Let's divide the bottom by 2 because we divided top by 2. How many 2's in a 5? 5 has 2 2's. The remaining one goes and joins the 4, becomes 14. How many 4 2's in a 14? 14 has 7 2's. Oh, what do you know? It is 17 over 27. 17 over 27. That's how many hours it is. This is hours. Remember, we set it up as an hour. The question is asking how many minutes does it take him. This is how many hours it is. So 17 over 24 hours equals 17 over 27 times 60 minutes. Obviously, because there are 60 minutes in an hour. That's it. We're almost done. Divide top and bottom by 3. If we divide top and bottom by 3, 60 is going to become 20, and 27 is going to become 9. We are left with 17 times 20 over 9. I'm not going to spend too much time trying to figure out the exact precise answer. We're going to do something. Let's see what happens here. had it been 18, listen carefully, instead of 17, if this top had been 18, 18 divided by 9 would have been exactly 2. So that tells us that 17 divided by 9 is not 2, but it's just a little under 2. How do we write just a little under 2? This is how we write it. Cross out the 9 and cross out 17 and write down 2 with a minus sign on top of it. That tells us that it's little under 2. Something little under 2 times 20 is going to be something little under 40 minutes. It's going to be just a little under 40 minutes. So find one answer choice. Had it been a multiple choice questions, they would have said, they would have used approximately how long will it take him. Approximately how long it will take him. And in that case, we know now that the correct answer, whatever it is going to be just a little under 40. So you pick one answer choice that comes closest to 40. Not 37, we're going to pick 38 or 39. So if there are answer choices here, A, B, C, D, and E, how long did the first guy take? The first guy took 40 minutes, so 37, 38, 39, 40, and 41. I shouldn't have gone where I'm going right now. Because I just realized in this case we have a 50-50 chance. I shouldn't have. Everything was going just fine, and I think I blew it at the very end, didn't I? Because little under 40 is what we're coming up with, and had that been the logic, the little under 40 is 39. Correct answer is about 38. It's not 37. And obviously it cannot be 40 or 41, it's either 38 or 39. So at this point we realize that because the answer choices are so close to each other, 38 and 39, we know it's not 37. That I know for a fact. I will bet my life on it without hesitation. Without moment's hesitation, I will bet my life on it that it is not 37 because it is too good to be true. The difference in the two speed is 3 miles per hour. One guy is going 54 miles an hour, other guy is going 51 miles an hour. The first guy takes 40 minutes, so most people will assume that second guy will take, since the first guy is taking 40 minutes, second guy is going to take 37 minutes. It is not going to be 37. Answer. But which one is it? Is it 38 or is it 39? Because they are so close to each other, we cannot just leave it like this. If you leave it like this, essentially what you're doing is you're flipping a coin and you're taking a 50-50 chance. So it's up to you. If you're a gambling person, if you're running out of time, if the clock is ticking, and if you're running out of time and you don't want to invest too much into it, you can leave it like this, or you can do it out. Of course, these days, they give you this calculator on the screen, don't they? So you just do it out. Just do 17 divided by 27 times 20, and you'll find out that it is what the book says, which is 37.8 or 38, not 39. Is there any way to actually figure out that it's not going to be 39? Let's just leave it like this, okay? I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.